Letha.
And we are kicking off season 2 of our favorite karate show after what feels like lifetimes away.
It's true. A lot has happened to us since we finished season 1 and watched Karate Kid Part 1. And basically...
we had to do a hard reset. We had to get back to basics. We had to look inside ourselves.
We had to put our white belts back on and start fresh, as Johnny students have to do in this episode. It was, just... Listener, just to give you the emotional weight behind this moment, all of the things that have happened to us include a Halloween party where we dressed as, Johnny Lawrence and Daniel LaRusso.
And will you see physical evidence of this? Maybe.
Only if you follow us on Twitter.
Maybe. Because I am sitting in one gigantic oversized gi, courtesy of Amazon.
Mm-hmm.
Also, sub note,
she hasn't taken it off.
Don't buy your gis on Amazon.
No, it's true. See, Nina was Daniel, I was Johnny, and we both ordered gis on Amazon. My black gi was so enormous that I just did not wear it. I stuck my Cobra Kai patch just on a regular black shirt. And actually, you ended up doing pretty much the same,
I went through 19 costume changes trying to make this big canvas tent work, and now I look like a cross between a scientist
and a chef.
I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, but the headbands worked for us.
Right,
that's what's important.
I'm trying to figure out when I can wear this headband.
We should really just wear them when we record.
I'm wearing it to the gym tomorrow.
Hell yeah. Think of the respectful looks you'll get with Daniel LaRusso's sunrise headband.
I will get looks. Will they be respectful?
Not even a little bit, no, but...
I'll do it. I will do it. I will wear this to my weight training class tomorrow. And report back.
You know what? Kudos to you, but as a badass Cobra Kai myself, I don't do that kind of thing.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. So we're back to Letha posturing about her badassery.
It's true.
So nothing has really
Pussies!
changed.
Sorry. We're back. Yes.
We're back. Yes. So the IMDb synopsis is, in the aftermath of Cobra Kai's win at the Under-18 All-Valley Karate Championship, Johnny questions his dojo's philosophy and deals with a figure from his past. Daniel searches for the right way to respond to Cobra Kai's dominance. How do you feel about that synopsis?
Well, I like that it tries to hide the ball a little bit, he deals with a figure from his past.
We know what figure it is!
That's exactly how season 1 ended, which, as you might recall, it ended with Johnny coming back to his dojo and finding Kreese standing in the window in this really ominous pose with a cigar, So it opens exactly at that scene with Kreese standing there posing ominously.
And all of my latent Kreese love just came bursting to the surface, where I was like, I love his claymation face.
He does have a claymation face.
He does.
He's
so cheesy. I love it.
Is so cheesy. It's true. He's like a creature born of several action movies, It's quite amazing.
I know, and he doesn't talk quite like a normal human being. He talks entirely in profound, kind of Shakespearean,
weird sound bites, I'd say.
And Cobra Kai's back where it belongs, and then Johnny responds with, "I thought you were dead."
He's like, a lot of people thought that.
Yeah.
Because I can't remember which movie this features in, but he did fake his own death at some point, right?
That's true, but we don't know that. I don't know if it gets brought up in the second Karate Kid movie or perhaps the third. I don't even know if Kreese made an appearance in that.
We're going to have to read out part of the lore, and of course eventually we will review the second and third movies just like we did the first, but my point is that, Kreese is a big weirdo who says weird shit like that. I'd also like to point out, my first observation is that he comes back and he's like, Cobra Kai is back on top, where it belongs. And I was like, how does Kreese know that? It just happened. Does he have a Google alert or something? What?
Kreese, yes. I do believe Kreese has a Google alert, and he probably subscribes to all 7,000 karate magazines that are in the valley,
but
out of the valley.
It just happened.
But he's probably been living, let's see, where do you think Kreese has been living?
Under a bridge?
Right, but in what country?
Well, he does bring up Venezuela a lot. I don't know.
And Panama. Right.
Panama.
Okay, so Kreese has been living under
in a bridge in South America. And somehow he just knows. I think Cobra Kai just won a tournament.
Right. He spends his money on cigars and karate magazines, and that's how he knows where and when to be. He's been waiting for this a long time.
How long has he been standing there with a cigar in that dojo?
So he was walking out to his car? Is that his car, or did he just walk there? I have so many questions.
You're right. All of this is very strange. He just kind of magically appears. And, immediately Johnny's, like, pretty pissed to see him, because, as they get into, like, a pretty fierce karate fight, a mirror breaks, a cigar is kicked into a garbage can, and a fire starts, And while Johnny has Kreese in a chokehold, he has a flashback to when he was like a teenager and had just lost the tournament to Daniel, and like Kreese also had him in a chokehold and broke his trophy and was like yelling at him for coming in second place. So that's when Johnny like has this surge of like, what am I doing? And he releases Kreese, who quickly takes a cheap shot.
What's amusing about that? He starts with, you broke my second place trophy, you tried to kill me, and I thought, God, are both of those things like on an equal platform?
I know, right? Like one thing came first, and that was...
So he broke your trophy, and then he tried to kill you.
Yeah, but Johnny holds them equally like egregious.
Sure. And what? So did you expect them to rumble in this scene?
I mean, not exactly. I was a little bit like, why are they rumbling all of a sudden?
And why does Kreese suddenly have superhuman strength?
He does seem like...
Because it's older man versus old man, right?
Right, and it's true. It's like he seems to get the better of Johnny until Johnny gets him into that chokehold. And I was thinking about this. One thing he does say is, like, I taught you those moves. I know them all. So maybe it's just that he can predict everything that Johnny's going to do.
Well, here's the thing. Ostensibly, I can believe that, okay, so Johnny, when the season 1 opener has Johnny basically kicking ass in a parking lot, and he probably hasn't been keeping in shape or practicing karate.
One, he keeps in shape by working construction, and 2, he kicks the ass of like 4 goobers. Like they're 4 teenagers, including...
Well, but construction, or it seemed like he's putting up TVs. Like, I'm not saying it's not hard, I'm just saying it's not like... been working at the... I don't know anything about this. Obviously, talk to me, construction heads out there.
And tell Nina how wrong she is.
How much of a workout is it to be essentially a fix-it guy
Plenty.
or woman?
Plenty.
And you're putting up stuff and, you're moving...
I installed a shelf once and I was covered in sweat, okay? Covered in it.
Wow. Okay, so we have... Do you want to elaborate about this?
No,
beautiful, sweaty story of yours? Putting up a shelf?
Whatever.
Anyway,
I'm just saying...
Write in. Listeners, if you two have sweat dripping down your face as you put up a shelf, write in. We want to know.
I want to hear about it, yes.
Yeah.
I want to hear that Nina's wrong is underestimating how well you can keep in shape, even when you're not running a karate dojo.
Bullshit. Would it even translate? Would you still know the karate moves? It's not, it's not
It's
Miyagi-Do.
like riding a bicycle.
It's not like the hanging of the shelf is equivalent to a karate move,
I just...
Anyway.
The point, if there is a point, is that, yes, I do think it's weird that Kreese, who's even older and was not working in construction...
But he was doing all sorts of shady shit in Afghanistan
so he
and Panama.
Says. Yeah. Later in the season, there's a little bit of a cause to doubt his claims, but...
Yeah.
Okay, let's do this storyline by storyline, because I want to skip ahead to the next Kreese scene. I do.
Okay, let's go.
So, Johnny's,
diner.
Clearly not happy to see him, but yeah, so he gives Johnny this shady-ass phone call. Again, how does he have Johnny's phone number? But he says, meet me at the diner tomorrow, 8 a.m., and then hangs up dramatically.
Cell phone? I just gotta get...
No way does this man have a cell phone.
Okay.
I mean, Johnny doesn't have a cell phone.
Right, but that checks out.
Right, no way Kreese does. So he meets Kreese at this diner where Kreese,
calls people doll face.
Yeah, sexually harasses the waitress a little bit and whatnot. But, okay, I wrote this down because I thought it was so interesting. Kreese is like, I've trained SEALs in Afghanistan. I've run strikes in Desert Storm. But now I'm ready to come back. I'm like...
He said that, and he said he did it all off the books.
Yeah.
What the fuck does that mean?
Right. And also it's
does
like, wait.
Does that mean like a paramilitary organization?
That is, I think, what he's implying, but I'm like, wait, so you did all these, paramilitary strikes as a mercenary, but now you're ready to teach preteens karate again. Like,
okay,
what?
So he ran death squads in, Guatemala.
That is what he is claiming, yes.
Yeah.
But, now he's ready for the real work of his life, which is
That's
teaching
chilling.
some 10-year-old to, kick a board. Okay,
I mean,
cool.
Lord.
Way badass. And I think at this time we need to play the speech.
Are you familiar with brumation? In the winter, some animals bury themselves in a hole and sleep there for months.
It's called hibernation.
No, that's for warm-blooded creatures. For the cold-blooded, like snakes, it's brumation. The snake buries himself in a hole. The only difference is, the snake doesn't sleep. He stays awake. All winter. Waiting for the right moment to emerge. And that moment is now.
Oh, is it?
Kid. I've been all over the world. After Cobra Kai shut down, I knew I had to keep fighting to stay alive. So I re-enlisted. I ran strikes in Desert Storm, I trained SEALs in Afghanistan. All off the books. Buried. Waiting. But when I climbed out of my hole, the world wasn't the same. Our society has gotten weak. Kids today are coddled. They get trophies just for showing up. Something's got to be done. Someone's got to step in and stop the ass kissing and start the ass kicking. That's why we're here. The world needs Cobra Kai.
That's Kreese.
That is Kreese. Okay. I am just super excited for Kreese's arc in this season. I will say this was my favorite thing about season 2.
Was it really?
Yes.
I got quite frustrated.
I got a shot in the arm as soon as I was like, oh, how will I feel about rewatching season 2 again? Because I do remember loving season 1 so much and not feeling like season 2 quite had the same magic.
No.
But the Kreese element is new and very welcome.
I have to say, I liked him in this episode. There comes this point, like when, spoiler, Kreese is here like throughout the entire season. And there came a point where I'm just like, why is he still here? My God. But that we can get to.
I mean, if we're actually going to follow the Kreese storyline all the way through, so they have that encounter in the diner, and Johnny is pretty unequivocal about saying, okay, like, you may have taught me Cobra Kai, but Cobra Kai is going in a different direction. You have nothing to do with it. I'm a different person, and he walks away. But Kreese manages to crocodile tear his way back into Johnny's good graces in the most ridiculous scene possibly. So he like strolls into the dojo. He has his like
very end
army
of the episode,
duffel bag, which apparently only has like one shirt and the trophy that he fixed for Johnny.
Yes, he somehow fixed Johnny's second place trophy, and which made me think, I asked Nina this out loud, like, okay, wait, like, was the trophy at the dojo and he somehow swiped it after that fight they had at the beginning, or has he always had it? Like, has he been, like, carrying it around in, like, South America for 20 years?
He's had this duffel bag with one shirt, this karate trophy, and, like, maybe a glue gun that he picked up, and he's like, one day I'll have I've been reading these karate magazines. One day they're going to have the championship, and I'm going to need to fix this trophy,
and I'm going to need to give it back to Johnny Lawrence to get back in his good graces. But that is what he does, and he says some things that I think, and this actually, talking about this storyline flows easily into another storyline. Actually, wow, it's not like we planned this or something, but when he manipulates his way back into Johnny's heart. He says that he wants another chance. And that, I know I was tough on you, but, like, I want to redeem myself as the guy who always rooted for you, and I just want a second chance. And I think this perfectly ties into the fact that, like, the other story thread between Johnny and his son with the 90s haircut, Robbie, God. You can tell that, like, in the episode, Johnny desperately wants a second chance. Look, and so those are the magic words.
I wrote, I blame Robbie for this.
Yeah. Oh, my God. Well done.
Because, yes, so the Robbie Keane storyline, unfortunately, continues. And it's weird because I feel like every time him and Daniel are on screen, it kind of sucks the energy from the episode because it's like this very emotionally resonant thing with Johnny confronting the demons from the past. And then you have, I don't know what, like Robbie and Daniel in this completely insane... I don't even know what to say. So they're essentially building a dojo from scratch. And I love how Daniel is just like, kind of like, hey, guess what, kid with a broken shoulder? Why don't you do this single-handedly?
Literally.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's kind of brutal, I gotta say.
Well, I mean, but of course they're having so many heart-to-heart conversations.
Then again, all roads lead to some sort of Home Depot.
Well, yes, that is where, so because they're doing all this Miyagi-Do fix-up, that leads them to go to Home Depot to get, I don't know, some screws or something like that. And that's where they run into Johnny, who's trying to repair his dojo after that opening fight with Kreese.
Yeah.
And you get this weird scene. And actually, this follows a scene where Daniel and Johnny are talking. And Daniel and Robbie are talking. And Robbie says, like, this weird thing, like, because they were playing the dojo. And Robbie's like, when my dad finds out what we're up to, he's going to be really upset. He looks like he's really relishing it. And Daniel kind of looks after him with, like, a weird look, like, that's troubling, you know? Because it is. It's like, what's your deal, Robbie? Okay. But they run into Johnny at the Home Depot. Very, very awkward, stilted conversation. And then, like, Daniel, like, fucks off to pay for something. And then you've just got Johnny and Robbie, father and son, looking at each other. And Robbie's very much like, you know, whatever, I know I'm supposed to forgive you or whatever, but, like, you told Diaz to fight me dirty. And as you know, listeners, as you should know, Johnny didn't say that. Johnny didn't want Miguel to fight dirty. He just did anyways. But it doesn't really matter, because Robbie's just really aggrieved all the time. And then, like, he kind of stomps off, and when he sees Daniel, he's like, well, same old, same old. He cares about his rivalry with you, more about his rivalry with you than he does about me. But, like, obviously you can see Johnny trying to reach out to him. I'm not saying, look, I get it. Like, clearly Johnny was not much of a father to Robbie, like, in his early life. But, like, it's obvious that Johnny really wants to be his dad now. It's within Robbie's rights to say, no, fuck you, you weren't there when I needed you. But I think it's kind of weird that he's, like, basically paints it differently.
What's weird is that this episode picks up right after the championship, essentially. Or the tournament, and at the tournament, Robbie shows a bit of maturity and growth, and says, you know, I'm not really gonna obsess over what's happened between us, and, you know, you repping Miguel and all of this stuff, and he kind of walks away from it the bigger person, and it's actually at the tournament, Daniel's the one who's, like, seems a little immature and, like, willing to stoke the rivalry, and then, like, in the very next episode, it picks up right afterward, and it feels like they've switched places. You have Daniel, like, I mean, yes, he's building up Miyagi-Do because, essentially, to, like, spite Johnny, but he seems a bit calmer in this episode, like, he's willing to put things behind him, and Robbie's kind of all over the place, which, he's a teenager, it makes sense, he's kind of up and down about his dad, but...
And actually, can we segue now into Daniel's plot?
Yeah.
I mean, yes, he is rebuilding Miyagi-Do, but as the IMDb synopsis might imply, he does go through, like, this kind of, like, emotional arc in the episode where, like, he starts out being like, yeah, fuck Cobra Kai. But, like, perhaps seeing that Robbie's, like, so excited about it, he obviously has that second glance about it. And then he talks to Sam, his daughter, who's, like, really still upset about the breakup with Miguel.
In case listeners, you forgot who Sam is, that's his daughter. Who is
Sam. She's a bit tiresome, but hey, she's still here. And he talks to her, and it's just like, he gives her this talk about love, which is basically the gist of it, is that, like, you know, you forget people that you used to obsess over when you date other people, which is fine advice, I guess.
You know what I wrote after that?
What?
I said, that's his way of saying he fucked around a lot. Because he's like, first I met this girl, and he's talking about Judy, guys. Judy, who was his girlfriend back in Jersey, before his mom made him move to California, and he was like, whatever, Judy. Then he fell in love with Allie, and clearly, I think he was alluding to a very storied romantic history before he got with his current wife.
You're gonna have a million stories.
He had this far, and it's, one, I was like, don't be telling your daughter this shit. Like, she doesn't need to know.
Yeah, it was a little weird. Like, that. It's like, at a certain point, it's like, Daniel, no more details, okay? Jesus.
Yeah, you think the world revolves around one person and you meet someone else.
Right. And so, but whatever, that's, like, not the part that I'm like, this is questionable parenting. Like, there's a part where, like, he's like, you know, Sam mentions, like, yeah, I know, I mean, but, like, it's weird that, like, my boyfriend is part of this karate cult that's taking over the school, and Daniel's like, well, that's why we have to fight back. That's what Miyagi-Do is about, fighting back. And she's just kind of like, Dad, like, you know, I don't really want to fight them. Like, her ex-boyfriend and her supposed best friend are both Cobra Kais. She's not, like, she doesn't really want to have this weird rivalry stoked. And I think
because Sam is, at her core, not willing to fight for anything or anyone.
Ooh.
I mean,
harsh but true.
It's a pointless fight, but I'm just saying this is just part of Sam. Like, Sam's not going to throw a punch for anybody.
Oh, yeah. Like, actually, it was kind of weird where she was, like, talking about how this karate cult makes her mad. And then she was like, I don't want to fight them. They're my friends. So it's just like,
also,
okay.
we see a bit of her grief over the breakup with Miguel. Grief, I might add, that was never a part of her love story with poor Kyler. She moved on from that right quick.
Rest in peace, Asian bully Kyler.
Yeah.
Wherever you may be.
He's probably in the next town over.
Where there are no karate cults.
Right. At some other canyon party.
Daniel's last scene, which is with Robbie. That's when he kind of like, he's meditating, he's thought about it, I guess he's thought about what Sam said and thought about how disturbed he is by Robbie's own zeal to like get even with his dad. And he's like, he has a speech where he says that, you know what? I've been thinking all about like starting this dojo to beat Cobra Kai, but that's not right. Cobra Kai is not the enemy. They're just like us, but you see, they've been taught wrong. So we're going to teach them, we're going to show them a different way. And as soon as I heard this, I told you I had a rant about imperialism coming up. I mean, it's not much of a rant. It's just that, like, I find that rhetoric very imperialist. I find it, like, actually, because everybody loves it when I nerd out about this for no reason.
And also Daniel with his sushi loving and his weird pretensions.
Yeah, it's all a little bit... Well, actually, like, it goes back to something that Kreese said when he was at the diner with Johnny, where he's like, kids today, they're all, like, coddled. They get trophies for just showing up. Cobra Kai exists to show them a different way. And it's like, I get it. Like, we're juxtaposing these two philosophies, and they're each kind of eager to show each other a different way.
Yes,
and
I mean,
like,
I really yes. Now I see the metaphor for U.S. imperialism all over this.
Right.
He was in Nicaragua, and Panama, and fucking up their government.
Maybe I'm just going to pose a question or a hypothetical. Maybe, as Fleetwood Mac says, we should go our own ways.
Oh shit!
I mean, the song is "You Should."
No,
way,
I get it.
You get it, and it's like, because it's a little bit like, screw you, Daniel. Like, we need to show them a better way. It's like, obviously, as I made this point in season 1, Cobra Kai works for some kids. It does not work for every kid. But
God,
like,
why can't he just use his like palace to build like his own dojo for himself and also Robbie, who is now like an
son.
Appendage.
His
like
son.
They are never not together.
Yes, and Anthony LaRusso is like Anthony, watch. Anthony, when he shows up, like, for 1 second, like, his dad is like, hey.
I wrote this down, yeah.
What'd you write?
Shoot. Keep Phil for time.
Well, Anthony's like, just eating, playing video games as usual, and Daniel suggests that he ditch computer camp to join the dojo, and Anthony's like, thanks, no thanks, because he knows when he's not wanted.
He's like, is it still just chores, or is there any karate involved?
And you wrote a valid question.
I mean, so why do you think he did that? I mean, I think it was a throwaway, because I think the emotional void of not having a student or regular students, I think his jealousy of Johnny having so many students now at his dojo that he's actively turning people away. So now Daniel is just recruiting. I mean, basically his family.
Well, yeah.
Plus Robbie.
Spoiler. Wait, no, it's not a spoiler. It happens in this episode. Sam joins the dojo, so now he's got 2 students, Robbie and Sam.
Great.
Yay.
Yeah.
Man.
Robbie, by the way, who's like, at some point at the end, he's just like, oh, I'm sorry, am I interrupting? It's like, Robbie, you're always here.
Don't you
You're
live
right
there?
outside the dojo. I mean,
yeah. So we don't love Robbie yet.
Will we ever? Okay, I want to know, are there any Robbie fans out there?
Robbie fans, write in. Tell us we're wrong.
What do you love about Robbie?
Is it the hair?
I put down that he looks like a young Val Kilmer. Like what Val Kilmer would look like if he was a teen.
Okay, yes.
And I don't know how I feel about that. It's just kind of like a fact.
It's not a plus or a minus, really.
Yeah, it's a neutral commentary on Robbie.
Yeah.
Okay.
But yeah, the problem with Robbie and Sam is that they're not Miguel. They don't have the charisma of a Miguel.
But here's what I thought when they were clearly foreshadowing that Sam and Robbie might be a thing. I just thought, you guys match. You're like the photo that comes with the picture frame.
It's like multiplying zeros.
Yes, exactly. Like, sorry, Sam, you're not interesting enough for Miguel. Get Miguel another girlfriend.
He actually does get another girlfriend.
I know. Well, we're not gonna talk about that yet.
But yes, I mean,
I'm just saying, I'm okay with him not being this whole star card. They dated for like 12 seconds.
Okay, when you were in high school, that is like dating for 7 years.
I love how in this hypothetical we're allowed to date in high school. Cool.
I mean, I've heard that when you're in high school, a relationship is much more... Whatever, shut up.
We're talking about things we don't understand at this point.
Completely hypothetical.
Yeah.
But can we touch on Miguel for a second? Because he's not in this episode a lot, but I do love him.
Yes.
He's fresh off his win at the tournament, and, when the Cobra Kais are having victory nachos, he's not really happy, because he's still, he just realized that Sam has blocked him on Twitter. He's, totally torn up about it. And you can see, and this is actually very comforting to me, because I told you, at season 1 finale, when it seems like he's going Darth Miguel, it's just hard for me to watch, this really sweet kid go full-on darkness. And this episode you can see that he's not. He's still, torn up about the girl. And, when he is in the dojo again, and, this was a great scene, when Johnny, basically calls he and Hawk up to the front of the room, and, they're expecting to be congratulated because they're the champions, but Johnny just calls them pussies, and he's got a good speech about, let's just play it, right?
Diaz, Hawk, up front. Hawk, did you attack your opponent when his back was turned?
Yes, Sensei?
Diaz, did you purposely attack your opponent's injury?
Yes, Sensei.
You think that makes you badass? What's the matter? Too tough a question? Maybe you need some help. Miss Robinson!
Yes, Sensei.
2 cobras in the jungle. One kills the strongest lion. The other kills a crippled monkey. Which cobra do you want to be?
The one that kills the lion, Sensei.
And why is that?
Because it killed a stronger animal.
Correct! Cobra Kai is about being badass. And the baddest badass is the one who beats his opponent when he's at his strongest. Not when his back is turned. Not when he's injured. Is that understood?
Yes, Sensei!
That means no more cheating. No more fighting dirty. From here on out, those are pussy moves. And you don't want to be pussies, do you?
No, Sensei!
The karate metaphors in this episode,
Fast and Furious, right? They're just great.
Well, taking it back to Kreese, because this is a thing that I will do now.
All roads lead to Kreese.
All roads lead to Kreese. We'll go back to that diner scene. He sees Johnny walk in, and instead of being like, okay, I gotta strategically make small talk, he just opens with this completely insane, deep-cut karate metaphor. Right?
And it's like, shouldn't you be asking him, how was your drive over?
Anything,
Do you want any
Kreese,
coffee?
I think Kreese is so hardcore that, the ability to make small talk,
Nope.
he left that in Panama, okay?
I want to be
no
like that,
part
Nina.
Of the story.
I want to just make Cobra references instead of actual conversation. That's what I want to do. So, circling back, like a snake eating its own tail. Yeah, right? That was good. I'm just going to say that a lot. You do see, Johnny's kind of he's got this whole different metaphor, which is just, be a better snake and defeat the lion. And, Miguel afterwards kind of comes to see him and is just kind of what's the deal? I thought, I did what you told me to do. I showed no mercy. It was awesome. And this is a really touching scene. We were both getting all where Johnny's just I wasn't taught the difference between mercy and honor, paid the price for it, and I want you to be better, and I think you can be better. And, I think that, again, the connection between them is, the heart of the show. And I'll say this, probably the thing that makes the second season weaker than the first season is that there is not enough of that. I mean, that's one of the things.
Yeah. I mean, in this episode, it felt a little overstuffed, where Miguel and Johnny's storyline felt like it...
An afterthought?
It was trying to do too many things. And we actually, we get... I guess because they're setting up the the second season, you have to see a little bit of all the teens. And, I also noted... Dimitri and Eli's tension is...
We see the beginning of a fissure when they're eating victory nachos and, Eli makes a reference to, not Eli,
Dimitri.
Dimitri,
so
sorry.
He references Eli Moskovitz, now aka Hawk. And Hawk has now, like, burned his old identity papers. Does
Right.
not want to be thought of
Does
as
not want to
Eli
be
anymore.
reminded that once he
He's
and Dimitri...
a full-on karate bro.
Totally, because then Dimitri just, like, says something about how, like, well, maybe I didn't contribute to this karate victory, but call it a belated victory of our computer camp victory last summer. And he was like, binary brothers, which is...
It's
it's
cute.
cute. And the girls laugh, not ill-intentionally. Like, but, like, you know, Hawk is immediately, like... He's become a huge karate bro, and he's very insecure about his new identity, clearly.
He's terrifying.
Yeah.
I will say I worry about him a lot.
Totally. And when they're at the dojo the next day, and, like, there's some new students who want to sign up for Cobra Kai, he harasses them.
He's let it all go to his head, and he didn't even win. So.
I know. Yeah, and it's just... Man, I mean, another thing is that, like, Hawk was, like, incredibly amusing in the first season. Less so because he's clearly a sociopath. I don't know if that's a fault of the show or just, like, that was where, you know, that's the end conclusion of this arc.
Yeah, no. Well, every karate
the logical
show needs
end,
a sociopath.
right? Yeah, I mean, I suppose so, but man, he got psycho way fast. This is only the tip of the iceberg, of course.
Do you think that Hawk could eventually grow into a Kreese type? Or no? Like, do you think young Kreese, if you can think back to, like, the 30s or whatever, before he went to Panama, before he started living under a bridge?
Do you imagine Kreese is immortal? I mean...
I mean, shit, did you see the kicks he was throwing in
Yeah.
there? He got knocked to the floor.
He may actually, in fact, be immortal, listeners. We don't know. It hasn't been confirmed that he isn't.
What was in that duffel bag?
The trophy? And
Yeah,
also the
true.
secret to eternal life.
I want some fan theories about how long he's been carrying that trophy, where he got that trophy from. If we ever make it to a Comic-Con where they have a Q&A, I don't care what other questions we have on our mind. We're not even going to ask about Anthony. I'm going to ask about that trophy.
You're not going to ask about Anthony?
I mean, I think so it's been on my list to watch that Q&A from a Comic-Con earlier this year, but somebody did ask about Anthony. I think I did text it to you.
Right, and they said that he would be...
Yeah, that his character was being sort of shaped, which I think we had predicted that Anthony would fall into Cobra Kai or perhaps a third dojo.
Yes, I have a prediction, which I realize putting out now will spoil the season. I will wait till the end of the season to tell you my Anthony
We have to
prediction.
wait 9 episodes
Yep.
for you to... Good
Guess we got to keep doing
God.
this, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Until we die. Okay, final thoughts and your rating.
Ooh. Well, again, you're right. There's a lot going on in this episode. There's a bit too much. There's a lot of fun moments, mainly because of the Kreese thing, and also we love mocking Miyagi-Do. Final thought is, listeners, I want to share something with you guys. When you see the first scene of Daniel and Robbie fixing up the dojo, there's some kind of innocuous 80s song playing in the background. It is called Miyagi-Do Fix Up, and it is the most played song on Nina's Spotify playlist. Why?
You will find out, because that's how we're going to play out our episode. It is the greatest song to do anything to fix up a dojo, to get through your workday.
Listeners, spoiler, it's not. But hey, we
get
can
judge.
go our own ways. I get it.
Yep.
Yep.
You can follow us at Kai_cast on Twitter, and also email all of your questions and fan theories at Cobra Kai's Never Dies.
And one last thing.
Oh,
Do we have an out of 5 rating or an out of 4 rating? It's been a while.
I think it's out of 5.
Okay, all right. I'm gonna give it a 2.5.
Wow, hella
Snakes hibernating, or what's the word for it? Brunating underground.
I'm gonna give it 3 out of 5 mysteriously healed karate second place trophies.
Very nice.
Yes. All right, you
So,
ready? Strike first.
Strike hard.
No
mercy.
mercy.